Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? I have for you two clips to watch from Florida, the lovely, beautiful state of Florida, with, quite frankly, probably the best governor of the state you've probably had. And it was just my opinion, outside looking in. So these two clips relate to Ron Desantis taking on, as you know, the education system, the woke ideology that's being pushed in schools. You know that, I know that. Don't need to go over it. The other clip we have to watch is a really refreshing experience. A conservative governor who is unapologetically conservative, and that's what people need to be. You need to stop hiding who and what you are for fear of being called this, that and the other from the left. And the thing is, if you've been on Twitter recently, the whole thing with Lorenz and libs of TikTok, you can see the tide turning, even on Twitter. And Twitter is like the meeting place, the home place of the woke brigade. Even in their own stronghold, they are getting destroyed, basically. And you'll see that. Now I've said it, if you haven't noticed it yet, go and look. You'll see what I mean. There's a tide is turning. The pushback is happening. And it started thanks to largely people like Ron DeSantis and libs of TikTok. Yeah? Why do you think they're going after them? Right? So these two clips we have to watch is one, him trying to keep CRT out of math, like grade 5 math. Why does that need to be in grade 5 math? Think about it, right? And the second clip is him saying that he will take on Twitter, potentially, because they are not living up to their fecundary, I think it's called their fecuitary duty. I think that's how it's pronounced. Basically, they're not acting in the best interest of the shareholders when they're supposed to. They're acting in the best interest of the establishment, the narrative, and so on and so on. Because you know that's the most important thing to them. This is what a conservative leader needs to be. This is what they look like. Okay? Get behind this man. So we'll jump into the video now. If you haven't yet though, please like the video, subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell and share the video around. Also have a membership scheme if you so choose to join. It is the button that says join next to the subscribe button. Of course you don't have to. However, it does help certainly keep me motivated, because at the end of the day we are shadow banned and deboosted because we are conservative commentators and we are the underdog. Okay, let's go. Okay, so first we have the clip in relation to Twitter.
The state of Florida and our pension system, we have shares of Twitter. I didn't buy it. We have people that run the fund. But nevertheless, it hasn't exactly been great in returns on investment. It's been pretty stagnant for many, many years. But nevertheless, I mean, to me, I think that that's probably an injury to the fund. So we're going to be looking at ways that the state of Florida potentially can be holding these Twitter board of directors accountable for breaching their fiduciary duty.
That's it, fiduciary duty. Now, did you see that everyone clapped and applauded? The reason why is because this is the strong type of conservative leadership that we have not had for a long time. Well, let me rephrase that. We had it from Trump, but Trump was kind of like he was like a lone duck. He had all these great ideas, right, for a conservative revival, and nobody backed Trump up. Despite, you know, you had like a few people, but basically he had the whole machine against him. So what conservatives need to do, right, and I think people are realising this now, Ron DeSantis certainly gets it, yeah? You need to become the machine yourself, right? Instead of just being a cog that's been thrown away, yeah? You need to play the game. Stop taking the high road, yeah? Ron DeSantis understands this. This is why he is done what he's doing, or is going to do what he says he's going to do, yeah? Looking at ways to punish Twitter and the board of directors, who, by the way, are acting illegally because they are in breach of their duty, yeah? But he's going to go after them, right? Because the reason why these leftist activists who have infiltrated all of these companies, They're certainly in the public sector, but they're also now getting into these private sector companies. They won't leave you alone. Okay, they won't leave you alone, right? And as I said in my rather long-winded open, you're seeing a revival. You are. If you haven't noticed it yet, now I've said it, just take a look and you'll see what I mean, especially the modern public square like Twitter and so social media. Go and take a look and you'll see what I mean, yeah? And next, for the second clip, we have Desantis saying how he's going to get CRT out of... Why does it even have to be in maths for grade 3, 4, 5 and so on? Have you noticed that with leftist ideology, their main target seems to be the young and very young? You know why that is. You probably don't need me to explain it. It is pure predatory behaviour. It is manipulation. And you will notice with the left, all of their tactics rely on low cunning. It relies on smearing. It relies on the things that they wax lyrical about the most. Disinfo and misinfo. They're the biggest purveyors of it. Okay? Let's check the clip out.
Getting the right answer. And we want kids to learn to think so they get the right answer. It's not about how you feel about the problem or to introduce some of these other things. It's there's a right answer and there's a wrong answer. And we want all our students getting the right answers. And so...
Right. Sorry to interrupt so quickly, but this is what I mean. In maths, there is no feeling. There is no... And it should be like that with science as a whole. But 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. No matter how many gender study types leftist academics try and tell you what it actually means 5, don't be so stupid as to even entertain the idea. What they are doing, and this is why they introduced CRT into like grade 5 maths, they want you to be in a position where you and me, or me and him, or him and him, or her and him, can't even agree on something as basic as 2 plus 2. If we can't agree on something that basic, we can't unite over something actually more common sense, yeah? That's the idea behind it, and it's also the idea behind this, the whole 5 million gender push, right? We can't even agree on what a boy is anymore, or a girl. Just think about that.
Most of the books that did not meet Florida standards for whatever reason happen to be in the early grades. As you get into the older grades, most of those books did meet the standards, but we're going to continue to focus the education on the actual strong academic performance of the students. We don't want things like math to have some of these other concepts introduced. It's not been proven to be effective, and quite frankly, it takes our eye off the ball. Math is about getting the right answer, and we want kids to learn to think so they get...
Yeah, so the clip's replaying itself. So, my case is that conservatives need to be a Ron Desantis, be a Trump. I'll tell you what my concern is. My concern is in 2024 that... Ron DeSantis and Trump may end up splitting the vote. I mean, I don't mean in the actual election. I mean like in the primaries, and then who they're deciding should get the vote. And if that happens, fine. But keep it amicable, because you know what the left will do. They will try and drive a wedge between DeSantis and Trump. This is what they do, right? Just think about the most insidious tactic that could be used at any moment, and you'll know generally where the attack's going to come from and what form it'll take, right? Because they did that with everyone. Do you remember with Trump when he first got in? They drove a wedge between, or they tried to. In many cases, they were successful between all of his chiefs, all of the staff members, right? His inner circle, even his staff members' inner circle, their families. Kellyanne Conway, for example, they try to drum up division in your camp, because if you're divided, you can be conquered, right? Now, do you see why they project so much over things like that? Misinfo, disinfo, division this, division that. They create it themselves, but they project the fruits of their labour onto you. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.